What up, peeps? It's time for another episode of Gross Pointe Bake, man. This show, we all about the numbers, man. No opinions. No, I think this is better than this. We talking the numbers. What movies made the most money? How much did it make at the box office? How many people bought this album? We want to know the numbers, the sales, the viewers. In this episode, we got the top selling albums of all time in the U.S. Top selling albums of all time in the U.S. Who you think is going to be number one? The top selling albums of all time in the U.S. Now, I will be removing greatest hits albums. If it's a greatest hits album, I'm taking you off the list because that's a cheat code. That's a cheat code, man. Come on. The greatest hits, cheat code. That's like assembling all the Infinity Stones into one package. So no, we taking off the greatest hits. So sorry, Eagles, greatest hits, you will not be on the list. Billy Joel's greatest hits, you will not be on the list. Also, double albums are gonna get dinged because they get double the certification. And I do this list based on the RIAA certification. Let's begin. We got a tie at number 10. We got a three-way tie at number 10. Garth Brooks, No Fences. Garth Brooks, No Fences is coming in at number 10. That's the album that has such hits as I Got Friends in Low Places. I'm not even a country guy. I know that one. And he also got When the Thunder Rolls and the Lightning Strikes. Bam, bam, bam. Garth Brooks sold albums like hotcakes, man. Garth Brooks was selling. He was selling, man. He got several albums that sold crazy amounts of records. And if I know the country song, then that means it was huge. Because I'm not a country guy at all. But if I know When the Thunder Rolls and the Lightning Strikes, if I know I Got Friends in Low Places, that means it was a monster jam. So No Fences is tied 18 million. Certified at 18 million. Tied with Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. That was Guns N' Roses' debut album, man. Guns N' Roses. Now, you know they wasn't playing no games at all. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction was everywhere. It was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't watch nothing without hearing some Guns N' Roses in that mud. And people still use Guns N' Roses to this day. When you want to convey like a wild, chaotic environment, you put on Welcome to the Jungle. When you a new teacher at a school and it's a rough school, then you just show up and then you come around the corner, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. And if you get the black folks to be like, yo, that's my shit. That's when you know you got a monster. Welcome to the jungle. Oh, sweet child of mine. Sweet Child of Mine is on this album. Take me down to the Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Paradise City was cracking. This album has some monsters on it, man. And this is one of the best-selling albums of all time. 18 million out the gate. That was their debut album. I don't know if I would want my debut album to come out like this. This is going to be hard to top. They going to compare you to this album your whole career. And I feel like I'd rather have an album do like this on the third or fourth album in my catalog than just the debut. Now you got to measure everything up to the debut, and that's going to be tough. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, 18 million. Also tied at 18 million, The Bodyguard soundtrack. The Bodyguard soundtrack. Whitney Houston was all over this thing. I Will Always Love You. We all know how that goes, so I'm not even going to sing it. Someday, I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want now, baby, I'll do it naturally. That's a remake, but it's still, Whitney's cover of it was a smash. I Have Nothing, don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Staying more alive if you're there. When I imagine you're there. Run to You is also on this album, man. This shit was cracking. Bodyguard soundtrack, 18 million. They all tied, 18 million. Number 10. Number 9, we back on the countryside. We back on that countryside. Shania Twain, Come On Over. 20 million copies. Shania Twain, Come On Over is certified at 20 million, man. Still the one I run to. The only one, wait. Still the one I don't know the words, but I know the melody. I don't know if it's still the one I run to, the only one I run to, but I know it's not run to twice. Still the one I want, who, the only one I run to. I don't know, but I know the song. Shania Twain, Still the One. From this moment on, When, Honey, I'm Home, that don't impress me much. Ooh, now don't get me wrong. Like I said, if I know these country songs, that means the album is huge. It's Shania Twain. Shania Twain got 2 monster albums up on her belt, so 20 million sold. Low key, she released 12 singles from this album. Love Gets Me Every Time, Don't Be Stupid, You're Still the One, From This Moment On, When, Honey, I'm Home, That Don't Impress Me Much, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, You've Got Away, Come On Over, Rock This Country, and I'm Holding On to Love to Save My Life. She was like, yo, let's make a single for every track on the goddamn album to ensure 20 million in sales, and it worked. Goddamn, Shania Twain, number 9. Also at 20 million, but I'll put it at number 8, even though it's kind of tied, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. Y'all know, even if you don't know, you know now. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac is one of my favorite songs ever made. One of my favorites. Now here you go again, you say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. I love Dreams, man. Dreams is one of my favorite songs ever. It came out in 1997. That's the year I was born. So I'm sure my mom was listening to this while I was in the oven because I love this song. Go Your Own Way is on this. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Also, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. All on this album, man. 20 million sold. A monster of an album. I love the album cover, and Fleetwood Mac's Rumors is one of the best-selling albums of all time. Number 7, Hootie and the Blowfish, Crack Rear View. How many of y'all remember Hootie and the Blowfish? 1990. Let's take it back to 1994. Hold my hand. You gotta hold my hand. I want to love you the best way I can. Hootie and the Blowfish was out. Let her cry if it eases all her pain. I said, let her go. What you know about Darius Rucker on the lead vocals? Hootie and the Blowfish was selling like hotcakes. I only want to be with you. You can call me a fool. I only want to be with you. And they also got Time on this album. Drowning. This album sold 21 million. It's certified at 21 million copies. Hootie and the Blowfish, that album was a monster success, and it just kept selling, and it just kept selling, and it was like, damn. Crack Rear View, and we was like, who's Hootie and who's the Blowfish? Hootie and the Blowfish. And we was like, is Darius Hootie? Is he Hootie? Who's Hootie? Is it Hootie who's Hootie? Anyway, Hootie and the Blowfish, number 7, 21 million. Number 6, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Oh yeah, it's just another brick in the wall. Down, 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 down. Oh yeah, it's just another brick in the wall. The Wall sold 23 million, certified at 23 million So this album was an absolute monster. It hung around the charts for mad long. Shoot, the Dark Side of the Moon. I'm surprised Dark Side of the Moon ain't on this list. Pink Floyd was out here. This album has another Brick in the Wall, Run Like Hell, and Comfortably Numb, all on the album. This album came out in 1979 and continues to be one of the best-selling albums of all time. Shout out to Pink Floyd. I remember watching The Wall. It was like a little movie thing that they made for the album. It's called The Wall, and it had all the music from this Pink Floyd album. And I remember the movie. I didn't really understand The Wall, but I just remember certain images from this little movie film that accompanied the album. I just remember it was like an animated visual of I think it was hammers marching to the music. It was weird. I don't know, but I just remember that vividly. Watching that as a kid, not really understanding what I was looking at. Pink Floyd, number 6, 23 million. Number 5, The Beatles. The Beatles, you knew the Beatles was gonna show. You knew the Beatles was gonna show up somewhere, somehow. You know they was gonna pull up, all four of them. Ringo, George, Paul, and John was gonna pull up. The Beatles, this album is considered the White Album, but it's self-titled because they didn't really give it a title. It's called the White Album, but it's the Beatles. 24 million. 24 million. This album has mad tracks on it. I thought it was damn near a greatest hits. It's got Glass Onion on there, Back in the USSR. While my guitar gently weeps. That's on this album. Martha, My Dear, I'm So Tired. Piggy's Rocky Raccoon, Don't Pass Me By. The Continuing, Wild Honey Pie. This is one of the best-selling albums ever made. The Beatles. The Beatles is probably the most celebrated musical entity of all time, given critical acclaim and what they were able to accomplish in such a short window of time. The Beatles was doing some amazing shit. So the Beatles, number 5, with the White Album, I think, 24 million. Number 4, Led Zeppelin. And this is their untitled 4th album, which is called Led Zeppelin 4, 24 million. So it's tied with the Beatles, low-key. 24 million for Led Zeppelin on their 4th album. It has the songs Black Dog / Misty Mountain Hop, Rock and Roll, and 4 Sticks on here. And also, their little magnum opus, if you will, Stairway to Heaven. I just realized I don't really know Stairway to Heaven that good. That's why I'm not singing it. Like when I went back and listened to Stairway to Heaven, I was like, man, I don't really know this song. Like I feel like I ain't really sat with it. You know, I know about Led Zeppelin. I know that they're legendary and this, that, and the third. And you always hear about Led Zeppelin, but I'm just like, I don't know Stairway to Heaven like that. I don't know it. So, but it's legendary nonetheless. 24 million so. Number 3, AC/DC, Back in Black. Featuring the hit song, You Shook Me All Night Long. Down. You shook me all night long. I like that song. Shook Me All Night Long is fire by AC/DC. I don't know the words, but I love the melody, the way he's singing it, the way he sounds, the vibe of it, the chorus. That's one of the best rock songs I've ever heard. Shook me all night long. It also has the song Hell's Bells on here, Rock and Roll, Ain't Noise Pollution, and Back in Black. If you're not familiar with AC/DC, go to your Apple Music, go to your Spotify, listen to You Shook Me All Night Long. That shit is fire. And I'm sure you've heard it somewhere, somehow, on a movie, a TV show, or just on the radio. It's one of those joints. Oh, his raspy voice was everything. Yeah, that's fire right there. Back in Black, number 3. Now, mind you, if you go look at the best-selling albums of all time, if you look at the different lists, it's going to look different than the one I'm giving you now because they're going to have the greatest hits albums on there. They're going to have a Garth Brooks double album on there. But I'm taking the double album off because you got to cut that in half. So just to let you know. You be like, man, Tony was wrong. That's because I'm doing the adjustments. Number 2, The Eagles. Hotel California. Living it up in the Hotel California. It's such a lovely place. I really like Hotel California. I really like that song. I like the story that's in the song. 1969. He was like, he realized that he couldn't leave this hotel. It was like, yo, he's in hell or like purgatory. I don't know what Hotel California truly represented. Was it hell? Was it purgatory? Whatever it was, this dude couldn't leave. We had no visitors here since 1969. And I could hear them from far away. Just to hear them say, living it up in the Hotel California. Also, this album has New Kid in Town and Life in the Fast Lane. Also, that's on this album. It's a creepy ass song, but it's dope as hell, man. Hotel California is fire. One of the best selling albums. 26 million sold. 26 million for Hotel California. The Eagles is doing their goddamn thing. If you're not familiar with Hotel California as a song, I highly recommend you go listen to it. It's dope. It's dope as hell. And number 1, the best-selling album of all time. So you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. And you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. Too high to get over. Get up, get over. You're stuck in the middle. Thriller, Michael Jackson, Thriller, 34 million sold. Thriller is the number 1 album that's not a greatest hits album. So if you look at it, it's gonna say the Eagles' greatest hits is actually number 1 in America. Worldwide sales is Thriller. Thriller is number 1 in America for a non-greatest hits album. It's got Beat It, it's got Billie Jean, it's got The Girl Is Mine, PYT. You know what's on Thriller. Everybody knows Thriller, man. Human Nature. And you say, why? Tell me that it's human nature. This is a great album. It's fire. It deserves this slot. It deserves this position. It deserves to be here, man. This album is everything. And I was around when this album was in full swing, so I feel like I contributed to the cause. I put my chips in on this album. Michael Jackson's Thriller remains the gold standard of selling a record, and I feel like worldwide, Thriller will never be topped. If we look at worldwide sales, let's see what Thriller did worldwide. Thriller sales worldwide, 70 million. You got Thriller, and then the number 2 album, it's actually AC/DC, Back in Black, with 50 million. So you got a 20 million gap between the first and second album. So I think it's safe to say, I think Thriller is good to go on being the number 1 album of all time, probably for till the end of time, until the sun expands and kills us all. Thriller might hold that number 1 spot. Because now, the way everything is set up now, how can you even get to that level again? There it is. Top 10 selling albums of all time, even though it's more than 10 because we got several ties in here. Those are the top selling albums of all time in the U.S. I could do a worldwide list later. It's going to be a lot of the usual suspects, though, so it won't be too much different. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon, though, is on this list. Higher than The Wall, so it just depends. What's your favorite album on this list? What's your favorite album on this list? Also, what's one of your favorite songs on this list? My favorite song on this list is, I'm probably giving it to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. That's one of my favorite songs ever. So that might be my favorite song on this list. But I don't know, I gotta dig in the crates. Anyway, are you surprised at who was number 1? Are you surprised at who was on the list? We got country, we got R&B, we got pop, we got rock. A lot of rock. Mad rock. It's a lot going on. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gross Pointe Bake. Let me know what other kind of episodes you would see in the future in the comment section below. But I would love to hear your takes on this list. Let me know. As usual, I'm out.